UK, in the US, in Canada. And they say, wait a minute, is it because I did not participate? And the parents will tell you, better go take arms. And when the person takes arms, he becomes part of the system. He gets the reward from the government. Some people were paid $1 million every month, $100,000 every month, $200,000 every month. So when we talk about amnesty, how can we disengage terrorist organizations through amnesty? We think it's something very lucrative that it will work. We may end up creating even more terrorists than ever. So people say, so if I'm quiet now, I'm the stupid one. The ones that took up arms, now you're giving them this kind of reward. I better go get my arms and organize my own group. Then you see proliferation of all kinds of people engaged in kidnapping and terrorizing people's lives. So let me conclude by asking, what do you think we can do? Because we know how we come to where we are today. There's a popular adage in my village, in my town, in my tribe. They say, if a man doesn't know where the water, where the rain began to fall on him, he may not know where the rain finished because he will still be wet. For me as a researcher, I think it has been a lot bit difficult to underscore all these points and to be very honest about it. The international community is very insincere. They're not telling themselves the truth. Look at the last NPT treaty, the Non-Proliferation Treaty. All of us celebrated it, but it's absolutely not. It was so watered down that it makes no sense. Why? And you ask yourself, how did these terrorist operations get their funds? Professor spoke about it before. Through drug smuggling, movement of small arms and light weapons, child soldiering, prostitution, child trafficking. Why is it working for them? Because we have people at the United Nations standing on treaties and resolutions that would have curtailed these excesses. You go to Guinea-Bissau, there's an open field. Private jet lands in Guinea-Bissau loaded with cocaine and heroin and just name it, and weapons. It's just like a transit route. It drops it, it moves on. There's no security. It's a free zone. Go look at the reports. But when you bring up a resolution at the Security Council and ask them, how can we curtail this in Guinea-Bissau? Everybody tries to play this chicken game. Nobody's interested. They say, oh, Brazil doesn't want to do anything. The UK has an amendment. The US has a position. And then we come back and we say, okay, this is dangerous to us. How can we curtail it? And before you know it, they say, okay, meeting adjourned and meeting adjourns. And they bring it up in the next 6 months. And you think we're honest to ourselves? If we are, we would have done away with terrorism for a very long time. If the international community can come together, once more, if they can look at this thing from a very selfish point of view to say, this is how it affects all of us, then I think we will get serious in the business of countering terror. My problem is not terrorism now, it's how do we stop people from becoming terrorists. You go to Africa, poverty is a case. The youth cannot find jobs, they can't help themselves, the government is uninterested. So when they get a little incentive, they tend to run with it. You blame them? I don't. And the government is corrupt. I don't blame them. They have access to weapons because once you have power, from the barrel of the gun, you can inflict terror. So once they have access to that weapon, they can do whatever they want to do with it. And you ask yourself, is there any weapon manufacturing company in Africa? No. There is none in Nigeria. We don't manufacture weapons. We don't use cocaine. We don't manufacture it. We don't use heroin. We don't manufacture it. Nigeria is just the transit route. So when you go to the countries that manufactures this thing and tell them, please, how can we contain the proliferation of these things? For them, it's a foreign policy position. They don't want to. They want to attack their economic interest. They try playing the game. I'm American too, I feel sad about that. Seriously, I do. Because I've spoken to the last lady that was killed in Syria, that went to fight. in Syria. I met her once, and when I heard that she's dead, I felt sad because you're an American. You fought in the U.S. soldier, in the U.S. Army. Why are you going to Syria to fight with the terrorists? The same people that we hate, the same people that are killing us. And she said, Casey, you will not understand. And seriously, I have not understood. Because I don't know why. I don't know why. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think, without not wasting your time, terrorism is a canker one. It's like a cancer. It's stage 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. It has eaten so deep into the fabrics of our national lives. And for each and every one of us, I think it's very personal. So we'll just keep talking until something happens. And talking honestly, as Americans, as Britons, as Russians, as Germans, as Israelis, we have to just keep talking about it honestly. And maybe hoping that one day, people will have a change of mind. People must have a change of mind before they think on the contrary. Where we are going right now, we are just throwing everything in to see which one works. That's why it seems that we're not coordinated. I thank you.